Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Funeral service for Jeffrey Oscar Rogers, age 63, of Alpine, is this morning at 11 o'clock from First Baptist Church in Sylacauga, with burial in the Evergreen Cemetery. Visitation prior to the service from 10 until 11, also at the church. Mr. Rogers died March 26 at Brookwood Medical Center. The family will accept flowers, or donations can be made to the American Heart Association or the First Baptist Church of Sylacauga. Online condolences at curtisondsonfh.com. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. Homegoing celebration for Mrs. Sadie Lee Higgins Byers, age 85, will be today at noon from Ebenezer Missionary Baptist Church in Raglan, with the Reverend Thomas Kelly, the pastor, the Reverend Stephen Hudson, the eulogist. Interment in the Morning Star Cemetery in Raglan. The family will receive friends from 11 a.m. until service time at the church. And Ms. Byers passed away on Thursday, March the 21st. Online condolences at terrysmortuary.com. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary, directing. Graveside service for Mr. Glenn Edward Burrell, age 67, of Talladega, Saturday at noon from Pine Hill Memorial Park, with Ron Hurst officiating. Visitation on Saturday at the funeral home from 10 until noon. Mr. Burrell died March 26 at Sylacauga Health and Rehab. Online condolences at ursrefuneralhome.com. Ursrey Funeral Home, Talladega, directing. Mrs. Betty Lou Walters, age 71, of Talladega, died Wednesday. The family receiving friends Saturday at 1 o'clock from Talladega Funeral Home. A memorial service will follow at 2 in the chapel. Reverends Corey Burrell and Donald Grice officiating. Mrs. Walters attended Unity Free Will Baptist Church in Sylacauga, along with Beamiston Baptist Church in Talladega. In lieu of flowers, if family wishes, or small potted plants or dish gardens, Talladega Funeral Home directing that service. Funeral service for Mrs. Marilyn Wood, age 64, will be today at Star Bethlehem Baptist Church in Wilsonville at 1 o'clock. The Reverend Isaac Harris officiating. Burial in the Wilsonville Community Cemetery. Online condolences at communityfuneralhome.org. Mrs. Wood passed away at Shelby Baptist Medical Center on March 21st. Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga, directing. Funeral service for Joyce Linda Banks, age 74, is Saturday at 11 o'clock from Radley Smith Funeral Home Chapel, with Reverend Joe Teal and Brother Jason Allums officiating. Burial in the Talladega Springs Cemetery. Mrs. Banks died March 26 at Coosa Valley Medical Center. She attended the Vincent Revival Center. Visitation this evening, 5 till 8 o'clock at the funeral home. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleysmith.com. Radley Smith Funeral Home, directing. Funeral service for Catherine Grimes of Sylacauga is Sunday at 2 o'clock from the chapel of Radley Smith, with Brother Tommy Thornton officiating. Burial in the Evergreen Cemetery. Mrs. Grimes died March 27th at Hospice of West Alabama. She was owner of Grimes Equipment and also a member of the Macedonia Baptist Church and a graduate of Woodgufka High School. Visitation Saturday, 5 until 7 o'clock at the funeral home. Memorial messages can be sent to the family at radleysmith.com. Radley Smith Funeral Home, directing. Funeral service for Mary Lou Clifton Faulkner, age 85, of Sylacauga, Saturday at 2 from First Assembly of God, with the Reverend Brian Jones, along with Reverend Joe Camp and Reverend Vern Ogle officiating. Burial in the Woodgufka Second Baptist Church Cemetery. The body will lie in state at the church 1 hour prior to the service. Ms. Faulkner died March 27th at her residence. Visitation tonight, 5 until 8 at the funeral home. The family will accept flowers, or contributions can be sent to the American Heart Association. Memorial messages addressed to radleysmith.com. Radley Smith Funeral Home, Sylacauga, directing. Homegoing celebration for Mr. Jimmy W. McCain, age 68, is Saturday at 1 o'clock from Roseline Baptist Church in Millerville. Pastor Michael Billingsley is the eulogist. Interment in the Simmons Cemetery. The body will lie in state at the church 1 hour prior to the service. Mr. McCain was a veteran of the U.S. Army serving in the Vietnam War. Also ended his military career as an Alabama National Guard soldier. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary, Talladega, directing. Reverend Sidney Bush, age 65, died March 28. Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga, will announce the arrangements. And funeral service for Mr. Thomas Henry Marbury, age 88, is Saturday at Community Funeral Home Chapel in Sylacauga at 1 p.m. with the Reverend Reuben Marbury officiating. Burial in the Macedonia Church Cemetery of Goodwater. Visitation today at the funeral home from 1 until 8. Mr. Marbury died March 25th at his residence in Sylacauga. He was a member of the St. Thomas United Methodist Church. Online condolences at communityfuneralhome.org. Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga, directing. And Mr. Harold Smith, age 86, died March 25th. Memorial service Saturday at 3 o'clock from Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega. Now, Mr. Smith was former resident of Talladega and plant manager for the Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Ursery Funeral Home, Talladega, in charge of the arrangements. Mr. Frank Moore, age 86, died Wednesday, March 27th. Graveside service for Mr. Moore will be Sunday at 2:30 from Midway Memory Gardens. Visitation Sunday from 1:30 until 2:30. The Reverend Gary Plummer will officiate the service. Online condolences at urseryfuneralhome.com. Ursery Funeral Home, Talladega, directing. Funeral service for Mr. James Frederick Jimmy Britton, age 82, of Alexander City, is today at 2 o'clock from First United Methodist Church in Alexander City. Reverend Mike Dinsmore, along with Reverend Jeff Dye, officiating. Burial in the Hillview Memorial Park. Mr. Britton died March 26 at Goodwater Healthcare Center. He was a member of the First United Methodist Church of Alexander City. Radney Funeral Home, Alexander City, directing. And funeral service for the Reverend Alfred Cooper, age 90, of Alexander City, will be Saturday at 11 o'clock from First United Methodist Church at 310 Green Street in Alexander City, with burial in the Cooper Cemetery in Sawyerville. Visitation this evening from 1 until 7 o'clock at the funeral home. Armours Memorial Funeral Home in Alexander City, in charge of the arrangements. These obituaries this morning brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. 256-245-4361 for pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.